I'm going to read something out of Psychic Self-Defense by Dion Fortune. She's talking about when suggestion is coming at you. And we know that mind control really is mostly a lot of suggestion. And so here's a different point of view about how to deal with that. She says, in most cases, suggestions made in this way are never recognized as coming from outside, but are only discovered after they have matured in the subconscious and are beginning to take effect. And what she's talking about here is psychic attack, when it is coming from someone else and it's not just stuff that's already in your own aura. Or an entity maybe is attacking and influencing you. I think these mind parasite entities are basically using subtle suggestion on us all the time, and they are implanting thoughts. And if you're astral, if you are astrally full of these attachments and rapports with these non-physical entities, they're going to constantly be directing your mind and blah blah blah. And maybe you know, in semi like soon video, I'll be able to get into what I think are some of other ways which you can nullify and clean up and deal with those entities. There's other stuff in my Occult Gems playlist on my main channel as well that relates to astrally protecting yourself from not only human beings but also other types of entities and thought forms. But what she says here is the bottom line of it. This is the most crucial part of it. So she then says, we do not see the invisible seed of that suggestion that has been sown in our mind by the mind of another, again, be it human or entity or alien or whatever. But in due course, germination takes place and the strong growing shoot appears above the threshold of consciousness as if it were a native growth. The skillful suggestionist always aims at making his suggestions harmonize with the bias of the personality. For if they do not, the established subconscious complexes will expel them before they have had time to strike root. All he can really do is reinforce and stimulate the ideas and impulses that are already there, though perhaps latent. He cannot plant an entirely alien seed. He cannot graft a rose shoot on a lilac bush, for it will merely wither and die. For growth of the thought seeds of suggestion to take place, they must find a congenial soil. It is herein lies the strength of the defense. We may not be able to prevent the minds of others from sending us suggestions, but we may so purify the soil of our own natures that no harmful ones can find a congenial seedbed. It's a simple matter to pull up a seedling nettle, but it is quite a different business to eradicate a thick-set bank of tangled roots and stinging shoots many years old. And so what she's saying is, especially if you had a traumatic childhood, okay, I see this all the time. People already have all of this subconscious garbage, and we're born into a nasty energy field right now. The energy field of this planet is very corrupt, it's very dirty, and so we're born into that, and we immediately are subjected to it, and we immediately have to work through it. And, you know, I'm almost 40, and I'm barely like, okay, I'm kind of over a lot of that programming they gave me. Some people spend their whole lives so stuck. And this is why, like, the part of yourself that actually is directing the show is being completely and totally offset and steered from these subtle astral planes, and therefore a lot of the will of your soul is thwarted, and by the time it gets to your conscious mind, you got all this garbage and suggestion that had nothing to do with your intent for being here. And that's what this is right now. And I'm convinced, again, that we are here to spiritualize matter, that we are here to create. That's what love is the bringing together again. The connection of spirit to matter is where we find that growth of soul. So she says, it has been said, and not untruly, that a person cannot be hypnotized into doing anything which is contrary to his real nature. But what is the real nature of each one of us? Have we all overcome the ape and the tiger, or are they merely caged? Suggestion can unbar the cage of all our secret temptations and let them loose upon us. None but the saint is naturally immune. It is possible to reduce anybody to anything, provided the suggestion has unchecked scope for a sufficient length of time. The purest woman can be made a harlot, and the noblest man a murderer under certain conditions. And if you know the story of Sirhan, I mean, these mind control victims, that's exactly what's going on. Knowledge is necessary to protect, and it is that knowledge which she intends to give in these pages, which I really appreciate that book, even though it's very antiquated, and Dion's semantics are probably going to be difficult for some people. I highly recommend it. Really, psychic self-defense is astral self-defense, and you can get to that point where your mind is not cluttered anymore. A lot of it takes meditation combined with body work, doing NLP on yourself. How do you clean up these weeds in the subconscious? You have to identify them through self-observation. And so this act of purifying the soil of your mind so that the seeds of suggestion can't take root is very much a part of this. Astral self-defense is not all like getting your astral sword out. A lot of it is just purifying yourself, sealing your aura so that you can have alchemical transformation in your life. A sealed container is where it happens. A leaky container is not going to have the alchemical transformation or transmutation. It's going to leak the energy. And most of us, we've got this egg-shaped aura, and the egg is cracked and we're leaking energy. And so, you know, being contained so that your energy can build on itself is really what this system and this false matrix wants to prevent. So anyway, I'm done. I'm going to go edit this down a little bit and post it. Have a good day.